Hello and welcome to the Greek of Acts 16, 19 through 28. So listen to the podcast version of this if you want to hear more commentary. Here we want to look at the Greek behind these verses. Just previous to this verse, Paul has cast out a demon, that's my interpretation of it, from a slave girl who was a fortune teller. So there were men who were making money off of this slave. These are human traffickers. These are slave owners. These are bad people. They're making money off of another person who happens to be able to tell fortunes because of demonic possession. And so Paul is so troubled finally by this that he casts out that demon, and she becomes normal, as it were, unpossessed. Good for her, right? But not good for them because they've lost money. Verse 19. And the masters of her, having seen, so this is id, it's aorist of horao. My aunt is an active participle, so it's an aorist active participle. S is nominative masculine plural, so it goes with the subject lords. The masters of her, having seen that, the hope of money of them. The hope of money. There we have the root of their problem, right? The root of their moral problem. The hope of their money went out. Elth is what? Aorist. So this is from exerchomai. Aorist. Epsilon nu is a third person singular active indicative ending, some past tense. Normally it would be sen for the aorist, but elth is aorist just because I've memorized it. It's a dirty dozen. It's second aorist. Okay? So the hope of money went out. Having taken Paul and Silas, so it's lobbing you a aorist. Men are passive or middle participles. So because it doesn't have a theta, eta, we're going to go with middle. So this is an aorist. Middle could be deponent. Let me quickly look here and see whether it's deponent. It is epilambanomai, so that's why it has a middle or passive ending. So this is aorist, deponent, participle, nominative masculine plural from epilambanomai. So having taken hold of Paul and Silas, they dragged them into the agora, into the marketplace. So this is the aorist of elkuo, the aorist of elkuo. It's a slightly weird augment. Normally, we would expect an epsilon like L-co to just lengthen. Helco, okay, it's Helco. So the Helco is the aorist. And the, let's see, the sigma alpha tells me it's aorist also. Actually, that's what really tells me it's aorist. So they dragged them into the agora, into the rulers, verse 20, and having led them to the magistrates. So agagagag is aorist, active participle. Ant is an active participle. Aorist active participle, nominative masculine plural from prosago. And having led them to the magistrates, aping and aorist, they said, quote, direct discourse, these the men are troubling this of us, the city of us. They're not. They're taking away your profit, and you're upset. You couldn't care less about what these Jews do. But they're going to use the card they have to play. We always come up with an excuse, don't we, to do what we want to do. Being Jews, huparkontes, ant is an active participle, present stem, nothing changed. And because they are Jews, you know, what nuance? You can come up with one. Verse 21, and they are proclaiming ethics, customs, ethe. They're proclaiming customs that, relative pronoun, not are lawful to us to receive nor to do. Present deponent infinitive, present active infinitive. Because we are Romans, being Romans, the participle of a me, dative masculine plural, present in participle. Okay. Us. Okay. Why? I was thinking, why is it dative? It's dative because it goes with us. It's unlawful for us since we are Romans, being Romans. Okay. Let's keep going. And the crowd uh, uh, joined in the attack. This word here, sunapeste, is from it's a kind of a weird form. Sunafistemi is the word. So the fee gets lost somehow in the aristing of it. Actually, I know what happens, but I won't tell you. So this is histemi, sorry. Histemi is the root word here. Ephistemi. And the reason why it goes ephistemi is because epistemi, the P and the breathing, make it the phi. That's where that sunafistemi comes from, the root word. But without the rough breathing mark here, the augment takes the place of the rough breathing mark, and so it can go back to being epi. So the crowd was joined in the attack. This is probably third person singular from sunafistemi, and kind of looks like aorist, I think, is what I would say. Yep. Okay. The crowd joined against them, and the magistrates, having ripped off of them the clothes, the garments, this is the outer garments. I assume this is Paul and Silas's outer garments. Maybe it's cool. Maybe it's cold. C is the key to hidden sigma alpha. It's aorist, active. My aunt is active. Aorist, active participle, non-masculine plural. From peri regnumi. Is that right? Yes, peri regnumi. They commanded to beat them. This is they were commanding. This is imperfect. Letters of the present stem are there with an augment. Verse 23. And having placed upon them many blows, many plagues, many blows, they cast them into jail. Baal is also aorist. Balo normally has two lambdas in the present stem, so this is the aorist. It's lost a lambda, and it doesn't know where to find it. Having commanded to the jailer, the desmophulax. That sounds ominous, doesn't it? The desmophulax. Fear the desmophulax. Having commanded, this is aorist, active participle. Aorist, sigma is an indication. The fact that only one lambda is there, internal lengthening. Yeah, aorist, active participle. Having commanded the desmophulax safely to keep them securely. Keep your seatbelt securely fastened. Asphalos. Verse 24. Who, that is the jailer, the desmophulax, who, having received such a command, this is lobbing you an aorist, lambano, he cast them, this is aorist, balo, lob, ball, easily confused, but ball, ballistics, throw, lob, lambano, receive. He cast them into the inner prison, inner jail, and he secured, notice asphalisato is similar to asphalos, which is similar to asphalt. Asphalt is secure, right? Solid, very solid. So the alpha is augmented. A zeta goes away because it's a dental, and like my teeth, it falls out often. Sigma alpha is aorist. So this is an aorist middle indicative third singular from asphalizo. Let me just double check and see whether it might be deponent. It is not, so let's go with middle. He secured the feet of them into the tree, into the stocks, into the wood, which is stocks. Okay, not bonds, but yeah, there are bonds too. Okay, just kidding. 25. And according to the midnight, Paul and Silas praying, they are hymning. They're hymning to God. They're hymning God. They're singing hymns to God. And the prisoners, the desmioi, the other bonded people of them, the prisoners, they were listening to them. So they were crowing. No, I'm sorry. They were listening to them. Epakroonto. Again, these are not high frequency words. Epakroaomai. And so this is the present stem with an augment, so it's imperfect. It's deponent, omai, third plural. So they were listening to them. Often words of hearing take their object in the genitive. Verse 26. And immediately, suddenly, a seismographic activity happens, a earthquake came to pass, a megaseismos, a great earthquake, with the result that the foundations of the prison to be shaken, aorist passive infinitive from saluo, and immediately, parakrema, immediately, the doors, all the doors were opened. Theta, eta, aorist passive, indicative, third plural because of the son. Anoigo, that's a weird augment. It does a double augment. It both adds an epsilon and it lengthens the omicron of oigo, anoigo. And it augments the front too. It's like a triple augment. What's with this word? You're an overachiever. Okay. And the bonds of all fell off. My chains fell off. How does that go? And can it be? Okay. I won't pause to try to remember. Theta, eta, aorist passive from an iami. Aorist passive indicative third singular. Okay. And finally, 27. And the desmophulax, the jailer, having become ex-hypnos, so he was hypnotized in a sleep, but now he's ex-hypnos, he's out of sleep. The jailer having become out of sleep, this is the aorist of genomai, because the gen, and having seen the doors of the jail having been opened, this is the perfect passive participle of anoigo, again, anoigo, ending is shoved right on the stem, which suggests it's perfect middle or passive, and it works to translate it passively, the having been opened doors. Id is the aorist of horao. Having having drawn the sword, sigma alpha says aorist. I think it's middle, yeah, from spao, yeah. So having drawn himself the sword, somebody else didn't draw it, he drew it himself, because it's middle participle, aorist, middle participle, a nominative masculine singular. Having drawn the sword, he was about to kill himself, reflexive pronoun. This is a present active infinitive. Considering or thinking the prisoners to have escaped. Ek, so this is perfect. The breathy phi reduplicates with the unvoiced p, so it's perfect. And there's the, it doesn't have a ken, normally we'd have a kenai, like me. I'm a kenai, but it doesn't have the kappa. So this is, but it's perfect active infinitive. 6 out of 7 infinitive forms and an I. Verse 27, and he sounded with a great voice, Paul sounded with a great voice. Sen, we should know sen, aorist active indicative third singular, from phoneo. Paul phoned him and he said, hold on, don't kill yourself yet. Paul sounded out with a great voice saying, quote, nothing do to yourself bad, for all we are here. Don't do anything to yourself. Don't do any evil to yourself. Don't do any harm to yourself. We're all here. So this is, I can tell from the context that it's a command. And so this is a special kind of negative command called a prohibition. There are 2 ways to make a prohibition. Actually, there's more than 2 ways, but I won't go into that. May is a clue that you're looking at a negative command here. And so may with the aorist subjunctive is one way to make a prohibition. And this is an aorist subjunctive. First of all, with the subjunctive, the way you tell a subjunctive is sometimes there's a clue word, but in terms of the form, it fries the connecting vowel. So like epsilon iota sigma is a normal second person singular form. O, ace, a. So ace is a second person singular form. So if you fry the epsilon, it becomes an eta, and then the iota hangs on for dear life as a subscript. So this is a fried second person singular ending, active subjunctive, that is. So it's an active subjunctive second person singular ending. A C is the key to a hidden sigma. With the aorist, with the subjunctive, a sigma means aorist. In the indicative, a sigma means future. But with the subjunctive, sigma means aorist. So this is an aorist active subjunctive, second singular from like proso would be the word. So may with the aorist subjunctive is a way to make a prohibition. Thou shalt not do harm to thyself. Don't do caca to yourself. Don't do evil to yourself. For we are all here. We're all in here. Okay, well, there's a little bit of the Greek today for Acts 16, 19 through 28. Tomorrow, Lord willing, we'll finish chapter 16.